But I'll tell you what, I'm super excited. I literally worked on this yesterday for like 10 hours, and I could get it to turn and start and go like maybe 5-8 rotations or run for 10 seconds or 15 seconds, but I couldn't get it to go any longer than that. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Weed's Garage. If this is your first time checking out the channel, we appreciate you clicking on whatever made you click on to get here. And if you've been to the channel before, we appreciate you coming back. Today we got some really cool stuff for you. So I've been waiting for the VFD to come in so we can go ahead and get the air compressor going. Most of you may or may not know that we are closing down our cannabis club. So right now I'm in the office upstairs of the club. The VFD just came in this morning, and we have some things that we're going to be using, some shelves and stuff in here. So we've been cleaning up the shop some, and we're going to be cleaning it up some more and moving some stuff out as well. But the big thing today is we're going to get this VFD hooked up, and we're going to go ahead and get the compressor running so we can start sandblasting these projects that we have, and we can go ahead and get them on the move and get these powder coated, these wheels powder coated, and some calipers, and get them on out of here. Right now, I want to go ahead and just do a small unboxing of the VFD and kind of check it out and just go over what it is. I don't want to make a whole video on just the unboxing, but before we do that, if you haven't smashed the subscribe button or click the subscribe button down below, right down here, go ahead and do that right now. It only takes a second. Also, click on the notification bell and put all notifications. That way you don't miss any content we're putting out. If you've already subscribed to the channel, we appreciate it. Remember, if there's any value you find in this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps us with the YouTube algorithm and allows our video to be seen by more people. We appreciate it. Now let's jump into this. This is the VFD. It actually is like kind of like a little bit bigger than what I thought it would be. A box inside a box. So yes, I just ordered this off of Amazon. It was through Amazon Prime. This is going to be the manual to kind of set up parameters, different stuff like that. Definitely got to keep hold of this. I've never actually used one of these before, but I'm very excited. There's been people that have been in the comments saying that they don't know if a VFD will work. Others have said a VFD will work perfect for this. So I know that a rotary phase converter would work great. We would actually be able to use a rotary phase converter and convert the whole shop to 3-phase. And if we do get the bigger building, I am considering saving up for a rotary phase converter. That way we can use 3-phase 240 throughout the whole shop. But at this point in time, rotary phase converters, especially a good one, because there's no reason to not buy one that's going to be powerful enough for the whole shop if you're going to buy one. So it's going to cost, you know, probably 3 times, 4 times at least as much as this did, probably closer to 5 or 6 times as much as the VFD did. Now, I've heard a lot of things about the China VFDs. I've heard that they've went out. I heard that about 25%, 20 to 25% of them are no good. They'll die within the first 30 days. That's kind of a risk that you've got to take, but the person that I purchased it from is a verified Prime person. They've got great reviews. Anyways, to at least get this started, and to be honest with you, if this was to die in 2 or 3 months and we had to buy another one, I'm perfectly fine with that. By 2 or 3 months, I'll be able to save up to get, we'll be able to save up to get a rotary phase converter, and then we can run the whole shop off of 3-phase. Now here's something I wanted to bring up real quick. The new building that we might be moving into, all we'll be doing is, because it's the same landlord and on the same property, is we would be switching our lease over. So in no matter what, 9 months, our lease, about 9 months, our lease is going to be up. When our lease is up, actually before it's up, we are going to be looking for a bigger space. The one that we're looking at moving into is a good place, but I'm tired of the county that we're at. And if we move into it, we want to finish our lease off there because it's still only just over 2,000 square feet. And we really would like to get a place that's 3,000 to 5,000 square feet, maybe even a little bit bigger, but 3,000 to 5,000 square feet would be ideal for us. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a deeper look into this VFD, and then we'll go out and get it hooked up. So this is a pretty big piece of equipment here. So it's got places to be able to mount it on the wall. I like that. we'll be able to mount it securely so we don't have to worry about it falling or getting broken or anything like that. And this is where we can punch things out and put the wires in, and we take the screws off there. So basically what we'll do with this is we plug it in, we hook it up. Now I'm going to try it because the air compressor already has a junction box to it. I'm going to try and just wire this up through the power and see if the junction box on the compressor will work with this. Otherwise, what we'll have to do is we'll have to unhook the junction box. We'll still hook the power to it, but we'll hook each separate piece of the compressor of the motor. We'll wire it into here, and then we'll program it to like only run forward, not in reverse. So basically we would have to use this to program every step of what we want to do with the compressor. I'm sure that there's still some parameters that we are going to have to set, but I'm believing that with the way that the junction box is set up to apply the power to the correct places on the motor, I believe that this right here, if we just are able to plug the 220 in and allow it to come out in 223 phase, that should be enough to be able to get it running. Hopefully it's that very simple. Otherwise, it's probably going to take a little bit longer. Let's go ahead and get out to the shop and get into breaking this down. Now let me see if I can make this work. I don't think it's going to. Wow, it did work. We're here in the shop. So anyway, now that we got that taken care of, it's cool to know that I can do that now. I almost feel like I'm becoming a cool YouTuber or something. Just joking. Anyway, so the only place that has 220 here in the shop is right here for the stove. So basically, that's why we set it up here. So this junction right here should run everything that we need to for the compressor. We should just be able to hook up, I'm thinking, these 3 wires to get power to that, which tells everything it needs to do. But those 3 wires right to the bottom of this, where it's the output, and then the ones from here for the input, make sure everything's grounded, and it should be able to turn it on. Okay, so in theory, it should work. I'm gonna have to get a screwdriver, get this taken apart. I already read some of the directions. I'm going to need to cut off this breaker, and I'm actually gonna cut off the breaker, and I'm gonna cut off the main, and then I'll go ahead and take this apart, get the wires exposed. I'm gonna mount the box like right there, or maybe even right below where this is at, and then I'll mount that box next to it. And again, it should be super easy. If it's not easy, then what I'll have to do is I'll have to find each of the different wires within here that do certain things, and I'm gonna have to wire those into specific outlets on here, but it will still work. It will just take a little bit longer to set up. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a screwdriver, screw gun, and a couple of those tools that we need to get ready, and let's get this started. Okay, so we can take this out right here. This goes at the bottom. And then if we need to, we take these out and run the separate wires up through here and wire them in there. But right now we're just focused on down here. So the E is the ground, that's the earth, okay? So we need to hook an earth ground up there, or that's where we hook the earth ground up for the power coming in. RST is the power coming in, okay? And then I believe I'll have to look again here. Okay. And the UVW, I'm right, the UVW is the power out. The P and the PR, the P plus and the PR 5 and 6, those are actually for a brake, which we don't need. So like I said, we should be able to wire up the earth ground and then wire up the power in and then wire up the power out, figure out what parameters we need on this, and it should work. That's what I'm hoping. So first, I'm gonna need to get this mounted. I'm gonna need to get the power turned off. As a matter of fact, we're cutting off the main power for this. That way we can go ahead and get those exposed. We can go ahead and start hooking this up. So right now, just taking the cover off the plug. I have double checked. I've got the main breaker off, as well as all of the other breakers. I couldn't find any of the connectors, so I went ahead and just bought some from the auto place down the street. Went ahead and grabbed some of that little shrink stuff too for the wires. I'm gonna go ahead and get all these. I still got the power turned off. I'm gonna go ahead and get all these hooked up into there. Do the same thing with those, and see if I have to do any programming or if I could literally just kind of hit run and go. So we've got all these little ends on here. I went ahead and not only put a fitting, but as you saw too, I shrink wrapped all of them. This ground isn't long enough, so I went ahead and took a wire nut and I connected a longer ground there, and then I also connected the ground for the compressor as well, so it is all grounded out. Now I'm going to go ahead and hook these in RST, and then there's one missing as well, so I got to figure that out, because this should be 220, so there should be a leg of each. But yeah, I'll go ahead and check it there. I probably just hooked 2 of those to RNS or RNT because I don't have 3-phase, and then this can go ahead and convert it. Okay, so reading in the book, it does take either single phase or 3-phase. So basically RST is where I hook it if it's 3-phase. If it's single phase, I can just hook it to RNS or T and S or R and T. I can just hook it to any 2 combinations. So that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do, is hook those to those combinations. Then I'm gonna hook these 3 to the UVW, and I mean, we'll turn on the box and see if it gets power, see if it makes the compressor run or what happens. There might be some parameters we gotta set, so I'll double check with that, but let's go ahead and get these hooked up. Okay, so it's all hooked up, all the wires down there correctly. These are a bit longer. I'm gonna shorten them or possibly, or get them out of the way. There's a very good possibility that I will shorten them. The thing is we might be moving to the other shop, and if we do, I don't want to cut those wires down in case we do need them a little bit longer, but I want them out of the way. I want to make sure that if the pump turns on, everything is out of the way. We already get this cleaned off some as well. That way it's looking nice and good. Now, I should be able to turn the power on. All of the breakers are off. Okay. Now, okay, so obviously something's wrong because it's not even turning on. Well, let me go ahead and check out the book real quick and go from there. What's up? We're back. Sorry, I'm shooting with the phone because the GoPro died. I believe I might have some extra batteries out here. I know I do have some back in the house or the shop, so I'll go ahead and get it charged and get them there. But what's essentially happened is we do have it hooked up. We do have the VFD is turning on, and we're sending power to there. The issue that I'm having is I think we're gonna have to pass that junction box. We're gonna have to hook up the motor and the pressure sensor separately. That way this can go ahead and run, because if we hit run, you may not be able to hear it, but you can actually hear that noise right there, and then it trips a breaker in here. So something's happening in here where it's not letting the power go through. I've hit the reset, I've done all that. All the wires that we need for the motor are right here. And then this one goes right here. So when the tank is full, it can turn the compressor off. And we obviously want to make sure that we do that. What I'm going to end up doing right now is I'm going to end up taking that junction box off the wall. I'll have the power cut off. I'm going to unhook it. I'm going to take that junction box off the wall. I'm going to take the wires from here, just unhook them and pull them out of the junction box. I want to make sure that I have everything marked. And then I'm just going to run them straight into here, and that should work. Now, to hook up the pressure sensor and all of that, I am going to have to figure that out, but that should work. So that's what I'm going to work on doing right now. These plugs right here are going to be for the pressure sensor, or the air pressure sensor and all that, for it to be able to tell it when to turn off. At this point in time, that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. Start taking the wires out of that, or at least disconnecting the wires for the motor from that, bypass it, hook it up straight into here, so we can at least see if we can get this motor turning. If worse comes to worse, when we're sandblasting, we can keep it running. When we're doing other things, we'll obviously turn it off, but it's a 120-gallon tank. Main thing is to just get it running now. Once I get it running, I'll go ahead and work on getting everything else done. It shouldn't be too hard. But I just want to make sure that I can get it running. So I'm going to go ahead and hook that up. I might put it on time lapse. I got to go charge the GoPro unless I have a charged battery out here. So I might do some time lapse or just some intermittent footage. But small area to work in. I'll just get it done. That's what we do.
Sounds like your fort.
Hey, what's up everybody? Just wanted to show you we've got the compressor running, but not all the way. Of course, it takes a second to ramp up. And it starts to get going. With the high efficiency pump, it really helps because it is getting good airflow. But then it slows down. So I'm working on communicating with the guy to see what's going on, and we'll go ahead and go from there. I'll keep you guys updated. Yeah. Well, it's working. I found a thread this morning, and I came out and I checked out the thread, and I just punched in everything just like the thread says to. And this is where we're at. Building pressure. Now all I have to do is wire up this to make it so it'll stop. But that's actually quiet. And it's running very nice. We are going to have to put a different fitting on here so we can, it's got to be a 1/2 inch. These are quarter, but, or quarter or 3/8, I think. But we definitely want to up the hose size for the blaster. The motor's not getting hot. Working very well. Again, I just got to figure out, it said there should be 4 wires from the terminal, but they say how to wire it up. And I'll get it figured out to where once it hits like 140 PSI in the tank or 150 PSI in the tank, it'll shut off, and then once it drops below a certain PSI, it'll kick on. So all I got to do is get that set up to be able to do that, and we'll be good to go. I think we'll be blasting in the next few hours. I do have the courier stuff I have to do today. That compressor is actually quite much quieter than these bigger ones, that's for sure. So yeah, very excited to get it going. I figured that a VFD would work. We can actually adjust it. It's at the highest speed right now, so but we can actually adjust it to run slower if we want it to run slower. But for a compressor that big, we've also been thinking about utilizing those holes right here and putting it on wheels. If we put it on wheels, we can clean behind it easier. We can roll it into a trailer if we want to go ahead and take it. Like if we want to be mobile, we can put a come along in a trailer or a winch in a trailer, and we can be able to just pull it right up the trailer, and then we're mobile. We would have to put a gas compressor on it, but still. Anyway, very excited. Day 2 of hooking up the VFD, and if I would have found yesterday what I found today, then we would be cool. So this is pumping, and it's already up to like 60 PSI in this big old tank. And you can just see the needle going up. Now I will have to turn it off myself when it gets full, but it's working. Might have to take all that apart. I'm gonna have to go in there and figure out where there's some wires and there's a junction where they jump each other. I'll have to stick the tester on it and find out which two, and then I gotta go from there. So I got it, most of it all written down. I know that this is really vague. I know that the audio is probably crappy, but I'll tell you what, I'm super excited. I literally worked on this yesterday for like 10 hours, and I could get it to turn and start and go like maybe 5-8 rotations or run for 10 seconds or 15 seconds, but I couldn't get it to go any longer than that. And there was just some parameters that were wrong. I went in this morning, I reset it, factory reset it, and then I put in the parameters that a gentleman in an old thread from 2016 had put in, and I put in all those parameters. Hit run, and this is where we're at. We got a friggin' air compressor. A big friggin' air compressor. We might turn the motor speed down just a smidge. It is running at max right now, but we can't always turn that down some. But yeah, super excited.